Hi there everybody, namaste, it's Nic here. So today I wanted to share with you a Ayurvedic technique which is essentially to massage the scalp, and why this is part of the Ayurvedic practice is because the crown of the head and the health of the hair and the health of the skull is really important. If you think about it, it is the closest contact you have to your actual physical brain. And so doing a massage for the scalp and the forehead, not only does it moisturize your skin if your skin is feeling dry from chemotherapy, it also stimulates and keeps the blood flow going to the follicles. So if you're post chemotherapy and you're looking to enhance your hair growth, then that would be another reason to do this Ayurvedic head massage. But also because it has a very soothing effect on our nervous system. Each little follicle that is underneath the skin is connected to a nerve. And so by just a simple touch with our hands and a little bit of oil, we can begin to calm our nervous system down. And that really means helping with anxiety, stress, looping thoughts, worrisome thoughts, and anxious thoughts, and maybe just give yourself a break from those for the next 20 minutes, half an hour or so. So I wanted to just give you a little bit of information before we get started about what I'm going to be using and how to set yourself up for this head massage. So the first thing is that I really want to give myself a half an hour of quiet time. I think it's really important when you're going through this cancer journey to schedule in moments in the day where you're not responding to people's texts and emails and calls, even if they are well-wishing. It's still energetically a little bit of having to leak your energy out. So I want you to create a boundary in a room and for yourself so that you can receive the nourishment, just like the follicles will receive the oil, you can receive the nourishment from this practice. Okay, next thing after you have your time is to be wearing something like a little old, just in case you get any oil on it, and that you're not having to worry too much, or you can have a towel wrapped around your neck. And then you can do this without any oil. I like to use oil just because it gives me a little bit more glide with my fingers. And of course, I've had this head massage done. It's normally done with hair. So I've had this treatment done with hair. There's a couple of things, obviously, without hair that are different. So there's a couple of moves that I can't show you because I don't have the hair, notably the hair pulling. But I actually, doing this on myself with my baldness here has been actually a real pleasure. And this whole series is about giving you a beautiful alchemy experience. So a beautiful alchemy experience is where you take something negative, feels a little down, you might feel a little bit vulnerable without your hair, and we transform it into a new experience, something you never experienced before, a head massage without hair. So the oil that I am using is from Banyan Botanicals. Banyan Botanicals are specialists in Ayurvedic oils, and this is the Mahanarayan oil. It's just a very general oil. It does say for muscles and joints, but really, it's just a nice light oil. So I'll show you here. It's got a little yellow tinge to it. I would recommend, if you don't use the Banyan Botanicals brands, then something that you might have at home would be like an olive oil or an almond oil. Try to stay away from heavier oils like coconut oil or sesame oil. I think a lighter oil is more in an energetic alignment with this part of our body that is pretty subtle and has very small follicles to it. We don't want to clog those up and create like little clogs. We want it to be open. So you don't need much oil. But just start to get into a nice space for yourself, and using the oil and the hands to begin to bring energy into the fingers. So Ayurveda is not just about, the science of life and how to bring health and vitality. It has an energetic component to it, and that's something that I like to bring into my own work, that our hands are healing. They have a particular frequency. And when we use our own hands against our own skin, it's like placing healing paddles into ourselves. We create a nice healing circuit. So just taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth whilst rubbing your hands. Taking a nice deep breath in through your nose, exhale out through your mouth. Last time, breath in and exhale. And then let your hands settle. You might feel a tingling, and I invite you to, before you would start this piece of work or this head massage, to set an intention for yourself. Like, what is it that you would like to cultivate in this moment? And then that tingling that you can feel in your hands, we're going to separate the hands a little. And we're going to start by taking your right hand and just where your brow bone is, just in the center here. I'm using the first two fingers. These feel really comfortable to me, but you could be using other fingers, not really the thumb, but any of the other digits. And just start to circle around here. Oftentimes when we're doing work or massage, we tend to go a little too fast. So take it nice and slow. Try to breathe in as you come up and breathe out as you go down in circles. And you can take the circles out a little bit wider. And then taking it back to the center. Just let your fingers rest in the center. See if you can relax all the muscles in your face. And then release. Next, we're going to take our two hands and we're going to take our hands just underneath the eyebrows and just lift the eyebrows up. And we'll take it back to the center and we'll do this 5 times, 5 passes, 3. And of course, there's no reason why you wouldn't be also doing these, whether you are going through cancer treatment or not. As I say, the fact that you have access, for me, the alchemy is the fact that I have access to my scalp that I wouldn't do normally. I'm just using that as an opportunity. Okay, and then we're using the fingers. We're coming up through the center like a fountain, sweeping down to the temples and a little circle at the temples. We come back to the center, same line over the eyebrows and around the temples. That's 2 passes. Breathe in, breathe out. We'll do 2 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Last time, breathing in and breathing out. And then this time, all 4 fingers, taking the hands up, around, and down the face. Bringing the hands up the center, around, and down the face. That's 2, up. Like you're washing the face, but slow motion. 3, 4, and 5. Face feels kind of fresh now. Now the next place we're going to go to is the top fontanelle. So we're going to measure 2, 4, 6, 8, and you'll feel there's almost like a little ridge. If you were to look at a baby's scalp, you'd see there's like a little ridge, and then they have the fontanelle. Now this is a sensitive place in the body, so don't be pressing too hard, but it's also a very therapeutic place because just underneath, between the skin and the scalp, between the skin and the cranial bones, we have liquid, we have a sac, the meningeal fluid. And so when we are doing this little movement of circles in that fontanelle area, notice if that liquid, it covers the whole of the skull. Notice if it feels really tight. See if you can relax all your facial muscles. Just little circles. And then just pause. You might even be able to feel like a little pulsation in the fingers. And you could even lift the fingers off the scalp. And then put the fingers back down. Feeling how that creates a little bit of pressure. And then lift the fingers up. And then a little pressure. And the fingers lift. Do 2 more. You could have your eyes closed or open. Each time we're working with the breath a little here. And then remove your hands. Okay, the next move, I'm going to take my rings off so that my hands can really interlace nice and tightly together. And all I'm going to do is take the hands and just pat from the front to the back of the scalp. So this Ayurveda, Science of Life, is a perfect lifestyle adjunct to a yoga practice, or if you are an energy worker. I find these techniques, these touch points of joy, as I call them, that we can do for ourselves throughout the day, help to just keep you calm, keep you centered, and keep the energy flowing nicely. And then just relax your hands down. You might feel a little tingling in your scalp here because we're starting to stimulate. I just want to say, in talking about these oils, I would avoid using essential oils, especially some of the ones that are a little bit more heating. So the scalp, especially if you've just had hair loss, can be tender, and you know, if you want, you can have oils around you, you know, maybe even in a scarf close by, but I would avoid putting oil straight into the scalp, just because I know essential oils can really be quite potent. Okay, the next area we're going to go to is 14 fingers back. So we'll count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So this is what we call the Bindu point. It's kind of the highest point in the head. And again, all we're going to do is just make some little circles. And you're imagining that the skin is loose-ish and that you're moving inside, you're moving this meningeal fluid, connecting to that place. I notice when I do this, there's a lot of tension in my jaw. I know that we're going to be coming there to release that next, so I'm just noticing that. And then I'd like you to place the whole hand over that area. And then release. Okay, next place we're working from the front all the way to the back of the head is to the occiput, or the occipital ridge. So I'll show you in the back of my skull. I come all the way back and I can feel like there's a bony ridge along the bottom of the skull, and it kind of comes up into like a V. So this is the entry of the spinal column into the cranium, and again, it's another area that we want to be tender with. We don't want to go all in, right? So I want you just to take both your hands to that area, and just letting your fingers rest, almost like a little hinge. Just let your head gently bob up and down. And you're not only just letting the fingers rest there, but almost drawing the fingers slightly apart. That will happen naturally. In Ayurveda, there's a lot of use in oils in the head. One of the amazing practices, if you ever get a chance to go to India and try this, is Shirodaha, where you lie on a table and you have oil dripping onto the forehead. Now you're going to start to move your fingers out a little, so along the ridge. So Shirodaha is an oil drip constantly on the forehead, the third eye point. Very relaxing, but very also messy. You're moving the fingers all the way towards the back of the ears. And then you take a second pass of the fingers back to the center, and again, just gentle nodding. So if you're interested in seeing what a full Ayurvedic cleanse looks like, I have many videos on my Panchakarma treatment, Panchakarma 5, cleaning, cleansing treatments. Another pass. And you can see how oily my hair is. Pretty much constantly oiled every day for 28 days, so a lot of oil. Okay, and then last time, passing back. And then I'm going to put a little bit more oil on here because I feel it's drying out. And we'll take our hands down the ears to the earlobes and just sliding down and out, sliding down and out. And then we'll do it the other way 5 times. And this time we're going to go up and out, up and out. That's 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're going to put some things together. I'm going to take the hands over the tops of the ears to the back of the occiput, coming all the way forward and then down. Again, taking it over the tops of the ears, take it to the back of the skull, come all the way forward and down around the face. So we're going to do 2 more passes. Try to keep it nice and smooth, up over the ears, back of the skull, front of the skull, down the face, over the ears. Inhale. And I like to exhale as I'm coming forward, imagining all my tension out of my face. Last time. It's kind of like the grand finale. And then release. Again, just let the sensation, the movement of the hands, kind of the shadow of that go over and into the skin. And then the last thing I'd like to do, just to finish off this Ayurvedic head massage that you've been watching and hopefully doing, is to do a little bit of energy work. So can you imagine that you have this field around you that obviously we're interacting with each other, we're getting electromagnetism in our field all the time, and we have an emotional body that is reverberating in this invisible field, and all our thoughts that are also affecting this field. We can't see it, but we can sometimes sense it. So we're going to imagine that we're taking threads, right, that are all clogged up, and we're going to imagine that we're just running our hands through our hair, and that any kind of clogged thoughts or thinking or energetic passageways are being released. And you know, people might say this is a little woo-woo. It is. But hey, I say at this point, you know, if this makes you feel good and you feel a little fresher and cleaner and right in your day whilst you're going through your treatment, then why not? So embrace the woo. We'll finish by just bringing your palms together again and thanking yourself for taking this time to take care of yourself, especially in a moment where your body is doing so much to help you heal and thrive and just get itself back into a beautiful balanced way so that you can go on and keep spreading your own light and your own story. So thank you so much for listening. Please go to the link below and I can share my 10 touch points of joy with you from Ayurveda that help me go through each day and remind myself what I can be grateful for, what I can do for myself, and how to really embrace and enjoy each day that I'm given. Namaste.